Hello everybody, this is Sierra from Sierra T Designs, and today I have for you a Copic colored Christmas mugs card. So let's jump right in. So to start, I have already laid out all of my images in, I use Photoshop, and I've also already printed it out, cut it down, and I have made masks, as you can see here, because I want to blend the background. So I'm going to use Scattered Straw Distress Oxide ink, and a blending tool, my dome foam blending tools that I love so much, and I'm going to blend that on the background. If you guys ever want a video of how I do my digital layouts, just ask. I can definitely do that. I just generally don't because it is a little bit time consuming, and it's very personal as to how you like to lay out your images. I kind of wanted this to be a one-layer card in a scene, so I laid the two mugs with some toppings and the cookies or biscuits on what I would consider maybe a table. And then I printed it out and did some masks so that I could blend a warm colored background. And I do that the whole background. It's not a perfect blend. That's perfectly okay. I'm not going for perfect, to be honest with you, because I want some texture in the background. So I would think that this is maybe like a wallpaper or just a warm background to the image to compete with the bright Copic colors that I'm going to use, because I'm going to use Christmas colors, as these are Christmas mugs, and this is a Christmas in July Team Tiny Hop, and I'll talk about that a little bit when we get into the Copic coloring, but we'll walk through the card making first. So I have this panel cut down. This is some Neenah 80-pound cardstock, because it is Copic friendly, and then I'm just going to lift up my big mask, and you can see there that I did get some of the scattered straw on the top of the mug and the whipped cream. I'm just going to use a jelly roll pen. This is a size 10 jelly roll pen, and I'm going to color that in white so that it looks like white whipped cream again. I didn't do anything with the cup. I'm just going to color over it with my Copics, and you won't even tell. And then I did splash on some flicks of water just to add a little bit of texture into the background. And then we're going to get right into the Copic coloring. So I'll walk you through what colors I'm going to use here. The first mug is red. And for the red mug, I used R29 and R35. These are going to be really easy blends. I'm only using the darker color to add a little bit of shadowing to the cups. I didn't want it to be too crazy. I do have a card coming up here pretty quick that uses a lot of Copic markers. This one's a bit simpler. So this one is going to be pretty much just two color Copic blends, other than the cookies. I think I used 3 colors on those, but otherwise, or biscuits, whatever you want to consider them. But otherwise, it's just 2 markers for each color blend. So yes, we're going to start with the R29. I like to do a whole layer of my lightest color, and then I go in with my darkest color once my light color is laid down, and in this case it is the R35. And then I'm just going to add shadowing where I think there would be a shadow cast. I'm not great at this. I'm still learning, so I kind of just guess as to where there would be a shadow. I mean, the other mug is in front of the red mug, so of course there's a shadow cast by that mug. And then I figure the handle would be shadowed a bit, and the bottom of the mug would be shadowed a bit. It's just kind of a guessing game for me at this point, and it's just fun. It's just practice. So I kind of just play with it a little bit to try to figure out where the shadows might cast and what looks the best. And then once I lay down my darkest color, I go back over it in my lightest color to blend it out a bit, and then I move on to the next color. So this is kind of how I always Copic color. It doesn't matter how many markers I use, I will do lightest to darkest and then darkest to lightest. And then I am also going to use the 2 lightest colors, the R29 and in our green mug, which is G14, to do the stripes on the candy cane. And I just do the stripes, otherwise I leave it white. I do add a little bit of a shadow later to the bottom of the candy cane, but other than that, I kind of just leave it. And then here I'm going to bring in, I just wanted to shadow my whipped cream a little bit so it kind of looked like it was a little bit more dimensional and like the candy cane wasn't just floating in the cup. So I took N0, which is a neutral gray, and then I'm going to blend it out. Sorry, no, I used N1 and then I used N0 to blend that out. Just so that there was a little bit of shadowing to the whipped cream, and I also did that on the bottom of the candy cane. Again, to just add a little bit of depth to my color so that it wasn't just kind of a flat color. And then we're going to jump right into the green mug or cup, whichever you prefer. I guess it's kind of a cup. What's the difference? Can anybody tell me that? I mean, between a mug and a cup, is a cup one of the daintier like teacups, and then a mug is a more hearty cup? If you know, let me know, because I'm not totally sure. I'm going to call them mugs, and we're going to go with that, because Christmas mug just sounds, I don't know, comforting, I guess? I don't know. So we have G14, that's my lightest color, and I'm going to lay a base of that down. And then I have G05, which is going to be my darker color for shading and shadowing. And I am going to color in the heart later, and I'm going to use the same reds that I used on the red mug to do the heart colored in. So I didn't introduce too many extra colors. I have the red and the green. And I showed my mom this card, and she finally told me that this was Christmas. Remember how we went through this a couple of times in the other cards? If you guys have watched my other Christmas in July cards, my mom has been informing me that they are not traditional colors for Christmas. So finally she agreed that this one was traditional. So there you go, guys. I got one card in this whole video, or in this whole series that is considered Christmas cards, or Christmas colors, I guess. So on the cookies or biscuits, I'm going to use a base of E33. And then I'm going to use E37 to do the darker bottoms of the, because you see there's two layers to the biscuits or cookies or whatever. So I'm going to use the E37 to do the darker one. And then I'm going to pull in E27 to add a shadow to where the one biscuit is sitting on top of the other two biscuits. And that's pretty much, I didn't do very much blending on these, simply because there's not a lot of reason to do, at least for me. Here, so you can see that I added the darker gray, the darker brown, not gray. Words are hard, guys. The E37 to shade the sides of the cup of the cookies or biscuits. And then I'm going to bring in the E27 just to add a little bit of shadowing where the cookie is sitting on top of the other cookies. But again, I kind of just guess as to how the shadows are supposed to look. That's really up to you. You don't have to add this. I mean, it could look beautiful without a bunch of colors. I mean, you could do a flat wash of color and it could still look just as stunning. I have the markers, so I like to use them. So once I did the darker color, the E27, I did go back over it with my E33 to blend out the E27 so that it wasn't quite as stark as the shadowing. And then I did add it on the top cookie as well. I pondered leaving it so that cookie was just a bit lighter, but in the end I did color it in. And then I'm going to use the exact same colors for the coffee, or I mean, I kind of think that this might be like a cappuccino or one of those cool drinks where they kind of do the designs on top of it. So I'm going to actually add that in. So I use the E33, and then I'm going to use the E37 to kind of add the swirl, and then I'm going to blend it back out with my E33. And later you're going to see that I come back in with my darker brown, the E27, and actually do the swirl again because I thought it blended in too much. And there I used my Colourless Blender, and I just put little dots on top of the cookies to add a little bit of texture to them. I kind of felt that they were, because there's not much shadowing, they were a little bit flat. So like cookie, generally they would bake and be a little bit lighter, a little darker in each area. So I just took my Colourless Blender and just kind of put little dots across the biscuits or cookies or whatever, and that added some texture to the background. So here I'm going to shade the table, at least so that's kind of what I thought it would be. And for no idea why I did this, I don't generally start with my darkest color, but here I did. And I don't like how it blends out, and you're going to see how we go. So generally I start with my lightest color, as I said, and then build up to my darkest color, and then go back. Because I'm a bit heavy-handed in my drawing, I tend to press a little too hard, get my lines a little bit too big, and so I have no idea why I did this. To be honest with you, generally I don't, but I'm going to use the N0, N1, N2, and N3 for the shadowing of the table, and I don't know why I did that. So after I did that, I actually took my lightest N, which would be my, I believe it's N0, it could be N1 actually, and I colored in the whole table. It's such a subtle color, you can't really see it, but it just kind of took away from how dark I made the shadows under the mugs. So it kind of just helped that blend out a little bit because it was a bit stark for what I wanted. And then you're going to see here that I'm going to go lightest to darkest with how I shade underneath the cookies. So I don't know what I was thinking there, but I guess I thought I would try it, and then I didn't like it, so then I had to kind of make up for it. But that's okay. I mean, it's all trial and error, right? Some people can do that beautifully. I'm just not one of them. Not yet anyway. I need more practice. So I'm just going to blend out this. So the table was originally going to be white. It's now like a very light gray table. And honestly, it's pretty hard to tell unless you hold a white piece of cardstock right beside it. It's pretty hard to tell that it's even really gray. But It's all practice, right? I mean, that's kind of the fun of this. This is the point of Copic coloring. So let's get into the Team Tiny. So this is a hashtag driven hop. If you click the hashtag that I have in the description below, it's going to be hashtag Team Tiny Christmas in July. And you can go and check out all the other people who entered into the sponsored hop. It is sponsored by Clair Designs. They kindly let us use these images. There's a couple of different images between the group of us, and you can go and check them all out. And it's just a lot of fun, and we just really appreciate your support. The group of us ladies who are all kind of just doing our little thing and sharing our love of crafting and our joy of it. So if you want to click that hashtag and check out the other ladies who have created something with the Christmas in July Clair Designs, please do. Please give us a little love and hop through us and leave a like or a comment or a subscribe to any of us if you like what you see. We really appreciate any love you can send our way. So yeah, that would be amazing. So if you are wondering about any supplies that I've used or anything like that, I have them all listed and linked down below in the description. I also have a blog link to my blog if you want to check that out. And then I'm just kind of going in with a little bit of Glossy Accents. I forgot what that was for a second. I'm going in with some Glossy Accents just to add a little bit of extra shine. And you did see that I brought in my Jelly Roll pen and I went over a couple of areas randomly just for fun to add a little bit more highlighting to certain areas like the mugs and the coffee. And then I'm going to go and stick it down with my Nuvo Deluxe glue. I'm still using the same one. I'm still trying to use that one bottle up so that I can use the new one that I purchased. And if you've been with me for a minute, you know that I love to matte on black. I just think that it makes the colors pop. So I have a tendency to do this all the time. And I did set this aside to dry before I glued it down so that the Glossy Accents wouldn't get smeared across my card. And then I am going to, once we get a little bit finished gluing here, I am going to add a little bit of Stella just because I couldn't stop. I like all the things that shine and shimmer. You didn't have to add that. You don't need to on your card. You could have stopped many paces ago here, but I can't stop, so I'm gonna do it. You're gonna see here in about 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab my Wink right there. Stella in, I believe this is gold, and I just added it to the whipped cream. I'm going to add it to this circle-y bit on my coffee, just to give it a little extra shine. And in the swirl there that I kind of tried to add to the coffee to kind of make it look like maybe it's a cappuccino or something. And I'm gonna put it on top of the biscuits. Because I can. For no real good reason, to be honest with you. I just liked how it looked, so I added it. So that is my card for this hop. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you'll hop along and check out the other ladies that are on there. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will subscribe and stay and hang out with all the beautiful ladies I have, a part of my my YouTube family here. So thank you so much, guys. I'll see you again soon, and have a great day. Bye-bye.